When I say festival trap, you might think of artists like RL Grime, Jules, isoxo. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how to make it. Hi, I'm Ash, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going for a more melodic festival trap vibe. I'm talking wobbly chords, spacey ambiences, and that crazy 808 that seems to be in every one of these types of songs. And maybe even a little bit of... Now, you may be doubtful of any of this because I scared you away with the word melodic, but know that if you can successfully make your listeners cry in the club, you'll also be able to make them rage. Rage? Is that the right word? Because like rage type beats are the ones with the big chords and... Anyway, what I'm trying to say is a lot of these techniques can also be carried over to the heavier stuff. So if you're ready to lock in, smash that like button. If you'd rather hear screechy festival trap instead, click the like button anyway and let me know down in the comments and maybe I'll make that video. Or if you're shy, leave an emoji representing rage because I need the engagement. And with that out of the way, let's get right into it. First, set the BPM to 145. On a saw wave, play a chord progression. Using mostly minor chords for that dark, moody trap vibe. And don't change the chord on the beginning of every beat. Sneak one or two of them over a beat, because we all need a little pattern interruption for maximum attention retention. Notice the pauses. And how we're not doing it on every single chord, we're only doing it to a few. Also, if you know your music theory, take the third chord of any major scale, and then the third note of that chord, and raise it up one semitone. Regular D minor chord, but raising the third up one semitone sounds really nice. Put a fast phaser on these settings for interesting organic movement. We can also automate the amount later for some variation. What this does is adds movement to only the top frequencies of the chords. So rather than using volume automation, it won't sound like the chords are constantly ducking in volume, but still adding a interesting, organic sounding movement. Counteract the moodiness with a happy pluck. Write some top notes on the piano with a delay, both in the MIDI itself and through a delay plugin. So notice how each of these notes start on the second beat. From the initial chord progression, copy the root notes onto a Drake bass. Respace. The more wobbly, the better. Use unison in noise mode with only two voices to add that wobbly effect. Same notes onto a sub bass too. Oh, but don't forget to spice it up with the spice rack. Now available, buy now and help feed my cat. Guitar playing a trancey riff that will be important later. Same riff, but on a saw wave. Drums? We don't need drums, because we got almond break. Okay, fine. Just one kick for impact. Big vocal hook drowned in reverb and distortion. I can't believe how you ignore me. Everyone adores me. Don't you know how lucky you are? And lastly, find an ambiance sample, but put it into a sampler. Set it that it only loops the middle part and copy over the chords from the saw wave. This gives us a spacey ambient chord stack. Don't worry about the wrong sounding notes. A little dissonance never hurt anyone. All together. For the buildup, change the chord progression. This is important, so we're not just copy and pasting. And this time, we're not doing any delayed notes, but we still keep the cool, vibey semitone up one. On the saw wave, that sounds like... And yes, you heard that right, a ton of flanger automation. These chords go over to the ambiance layer as well. Along with the root notes on the respace. Chop up and filter in the vocal. Remember that trance melody that I said would be important? Well, here it is for the pre-drop. And to help transition it into the drop, our best friend almond break. Altogether, this sounds like... If you're a smart artist, you know that in addition to good music, you have to have a strong social media presence, because the reality is no one's going to hear your music if they don't know you exist. Plus, with so many artists out there saying, but I just want to make music, I don't want to do any social media, that means you automatically have a leg up over all of those producers because you're different and you're willing to actually put in the work. Through this video sponsored DistroKid and their goodies menu are a robust set of tools that make releasing your music and promoting your music easy and professional. Tools that include promo cards for social media, instant artist verification for all the streaming platforms. This way you can grow your social media presence easily, organically, and professionally, all under one menu. And most of these are included with your $23 a year subscription. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today for DistroKid, release your music, and get all of these bonuses included. Plus, since you're watching my channel, you can sign up using my VIP link. It'll also give you an additional 7% off your first year, and using the link directly supports the channel. Thank you to DistroKid for sponsoring this video. Now, on to, for the drop, let's start with the drums. Thick, boomy, but chest-heavy kick with the trap snare. And if you want a big tail like that, you can use a parallel processed hybrid reverb in convolution mode using a plate impulse response for ultimate tail technology. This sample though was completely bounced down, so I don't have the rack, but subscribe so that I can show you one day. Hat loop on the 8th, but with lots of fun rolls, cause real trap shit. And on every kick, instead of putting an 808, crush a bunch of sine waves together using a soft clip distortion and some OTT for that iconic. Also, don't worry that this doesn't sound too bassy, cause copy those notes over to the sub bass as well. A few bass music sound design sessions later, and you get some weird noises you can also sneak in, like... And all that will make the drums sound like... For the actual drop itself, always start with a fake out by counting out 8 beats, adding a kick to the very first beat, and a snare on the 8th beat, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take the trance melody from the pre-drop and add it to the actual fake out drop onto an open saw wave. Cut it out on the 8th beat where the snare hits. And bam! Now you got a fake out. I made this video in the year 2025, so right now, this is still relevant. But if you're watching in the future, let me know if we're all still doing that. After the fake out, keep that trance melody going. Bring over the chords from the intro. But if you notice, we actually started from the 2nd chord because, you know, fake out. Also maxing out the flanger automation for crazy movement. And this goes onto a super saw as well. Chop up the intro vocal, but put even more distortion on it. Layered with itself for fullness. I use the shifter plugin and pitched it down. Once again, counteracting all the moodiness with Happy Pluck. We get it! You listen to Porter Robinson! Yet another Drake. Yet another Reese bass, but with more OTT this time. Tie it all together with a big brass hit that matches the chords. And that's all there is to it. Normally I go a little crazier with some of these bass layers, but because it's melodic, that means we have big fat chords like this, a big Reese bass, and this crushed sine 808. So that means the mid-range bass section is pretty full already. Now the overall goal to this style of music is to get more of a sense of movement through the interplay of syncopated drums and big long chords. On top of that, the brass and the sine wave 808s help accentuate the big kick hits, and that'll also help carry the song. Finally, because of all of these moving parts, the vocal chop anchors this all together with a steady rhythm, which will help make it more festival or club friendly. And if you've made it this far, you're a legend. If there's any other artists or genres you want me to make a video about, comment down below. But making these videos from research, writing, producing the songs themselves, not to mention all the editing I do, takes me around 30 to 50 hours, sometimes more. So if you support what I'm doing, even just liking the video and subscribing to my channel helps my content reach more people and, most importantly, lets me keep doing this. If you want to support me even further, check out my Patreon. Even just the $2 tier helps me out way more than you realize. Plus, you'll find project files for most of the music you've heard on this channel, along with presets for Serum, Vital, Ableton racks, and some start-to-finish versions of these videos. However, with all of that yap, you might still not know what I mean by big kicks and steady rhythms. So, here's what it sounds like all together. Now go make some bangers.